Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, This Green's Life. My name is Sherry. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. So, how do I make a living while I'm living here on the island of Grenada? I did mention in another one of my videos that I only work about 15 hours a week on average. Um, when I left America, I was a school teacher. I was a certified math teacher. I taught high school, and what I did when I decided that I was going to leave America, I knew I didn't want to work in Grenada because I didn't want to earn, Grenadian dollars. I wanted to still be able to earn US dollars while living in Grenada, right? Because as I mentioned in my last video, every US dollar is about $2.70 EC, right? So you're getting almost three for one. So I wanted to continue making US money while living here. So again, by trade, I'm a math teacher. So what I did was I signed up for a few online positions while still in America. So I started them maybe a couple of months before I decided to move to Grenada. And what I did was when I came over here, I just continued to work those jobs. In fact, some of those jobs I don't work anymore and I got some new ones. So, pretty much working online and depending on the job that you take, because obviously there are different positions that you can do, right? If you're a teacher, you could work full time if you want to, even online, because there's a lot of companies that you can work a full time schedule if you wanted to. I didn't want to work a full time schedule. I'm not really interested in working a full time schedule because to me personally, and this is just for me, it it's like you have too many obligations, and I didn't want a lot of obligations. I wanted the ability to make my own schedule and work on the days that I wanted to work and the times that I wanted to work. So, the companies that I work for, I pretty much can make my own schedule, right? But as I mentioned, if you want, you can work full time because there's a lot of jobs out there that are remote where you can work full time. In addition to that, I also made sure before I left America that I also got TEFL certified. And a TEFL certification allows you to teach English as a second language to people that are non English speaking, right? And there's a lot of those jobs online and in person. And I'm going to be honest, I think there's more in person than there are online, but you can find them if you want to. Right now, I am not using my TEFL certification, but I am planning to travel within the next year or so. And when I do some traveling, I may teach in person when I go to wherever I decide to go, if I decide to work in that capacity. But what I want to be able to uh, let you know though is that you can work remotely, right? You can work in different industries. You just have to take your time and look for positions that allow you to work remotely. Now, I will say, from my experience, a lot of these jobs are you're working as an independent contractor, so you are required to pay your own taxes. The good part about living overseas, though, is that you do get what is the word I want to use? You get a foreign tax exemption up to a certain amount based upon your filing status. Whether you're filing as single, head of household, or if you're married, you do get a foreign tax exemption. So that means depending on the amount of money that you earn, a chunk of it will be exempt from taxes. So um that's a good and bad thing. Good in the sense that um if you don't make over that threshold, right? You can get that tax exemption, right? So you want to try to earn as little as possible. But even if you make more than your threshold, know at least a good chunk of it will be tax exempt. And then as a person who earns or who works as an independent contractor, again, you're going to be responsible for paying your own taxes. So after you file your taxes, you'll have to most likely pay back something. And this is my first year ever having to pay back anything, because all the years that I've been living in America, I've always gotten a tax refund. This is the first year where I did not get a refund, but the amount that I had to pay was only about like 15 or 1600, which wasn't bad, right? Um so um and what's good too is that if you work with the IRS, you can pay off the amount in installments. So it wasn't too bad. I was able to pay it off like in 3 months or whatever, right? Um what I will say is working overseas also allows you to have some leeway with student loans as well, because obviously your taxable income will be less. So that will help with that. That could also help with your children in terms of getting financial aid for them, because obviously your taxable income is less. The only drawback about this foreign tax exemption is you have to stay outside of the US, I believe, for at least, and I know I might be wrong, and I'm going to correct myself in the comments if I am incorrect. You need to be outside of the country at least for 330 days, if I'm correct. So no more than, like, you shouldn't be spending more if you are traveling back to the United States. You should try your best not to stay for more than 30 days, right? 30 to 35 days, something like that. Now, I mean, obviously you could stay for as long as you want, but just understand that that might cut into your tax exemption. So you may have to pay a little bit of tax on the amount that you earn outside of the US. So just some food for thought. So as always, if anybody has any questions, comments, um, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and also subscribe if you think what I'm talking about is something that you are interested in hearing. Okay. So everybody have a great day, and I'll see you soon.